What if World War III didn't begin with a sudden global explosion, but quietly, through sanctions, energy shocks, supply chain warfare, and economic division? Ukraine's president now says the conflict with Russia may already be the start of a wider world war. And whether you agree or not, the financial consequences are already global. Welcome to Money Unmasked UK. This isn't about panic. It's about understanding how geopolitical conflict reshapes markets, economies, and power structures behind the scenes. And right now, President Volodymyr Zelensky has issued one of his strongest warnings yet, claiming Vladimir Putin effectively started World War III when Russia invaded Ukraine. So what does that really mean? And more importantly, what does it mean for your money? Zelensky's argument isn't purely military. It's strategic. He believes the invasion triggered a chain reaction: sanctions, global economic fragmentation, military spending surges, and rising geopolitical blocs. In other words, a conflict that extends far beyond the battlefield. From his perspective, Ukraine isn't just defending territory. It's acting as a buffer, preventing wider instability across Europe and NATO. Wars today aren't fought only with weapons. They're fought with energy leverage, trade restrictions, currency pressure, technology bans, supply chain control. Since the invasion began, the world has already seen energy price shocks across Europe, food and grain supply disruptions, sanctions reshaping global trade routes, and defense spending rising across NATO countries. That's not a regional conflict. That's systemic economic impact. Sanctions against Russia created a new economic reality. Western nations attempted to isolate Russian finance and trade, while Russia pivoted toward alternative partners and parallel markets. This has accelerated something economists have warned about for years: the fragmentation of the global economy into competing blocs. That shift affects everything from inflation to investment flows, and it increases long-term uncertainty, something markets dislike more than almost anything else. One of the biggest weapons in this conflict has been energy. Europe's reliance on Russian gas became a vulnerability almost overnight. That forced emergency diversification, higher energy costs, and massive government intervention. Meanwhile, energy exporters gained leverage, and defense contractors saw spending surge as nations reassessed security risks. Whenever geopolitical risk certain sectors quietly benefit. Across Europe, military budgets are expanding rapidly. Countries that once prioritized economic efficiency are now prioritizing security resilience. That means more defense procurement, more technology investment, more long-term government spending commitments, and ultimately, more taxpayer funding redirected toward security infrastructure. This is one of the clearest signs the conflict is reshaping global priorities. Zelensky's warning also reflects stalled peace negotiations. Some proposals involve territorial compromise, but from Ukraine's perspective, concessions risk encouraging future aggression, creating instability that markets and governments fear. This creates a difficult reality. Continuing war is economically damaging, but unresolved conflict may be even worse. That uncertainty is what keeps geopolitical risk priced into markets. Markets react not just to events, but to perceived escalation risk. Even the suggestion of wider conflict can influence commodity prices, defense stocks, energy markets, currency, stability, and investor sentiment. That's why Zelensky's statement matters, regardless of whether it proves accurate, because perception alone can move billions. The deeper issue is trust. Globalization relied on predictable cooperation between major powers. That assumption is weakening. We're now seeing strategic decoupling, domestic production priorities, economic nationalism, and governments prioritizing resilience over efficiency. This is a structural shift, not a temporary crisis. The conflict could move in several directions: a frozen war with ongoing economic strain, a negotiated settlement with unresolved tensions, or escalation that deepens global division. None of these scenarios are economically neutral, and all of them influenced inflation, growth, and market stability. Whether or not this conflict becomes a formal world war isn't the only question. The economic consequences are already global. Supply chains are shifting. Defense spending is rising. Energy security has become a political priority, and geopolitical risk is once again a permanent factor in financial decisions. The world isn't just watching a war, it's adjusting to a new economic reality shaped by it. If you want calm, clear breakdowns of how global power struggles affect your money, markets, and long-term financial stability, subscribe to Money Unmasked UK. Because the biggest financial risks are often hidden behind political headlines.